Manchester United, Arsenal at the weekend, Dan United, Kev United's here. But first... There's a wee game coming this weekend, Kev. There's a wee game, and my God, it's a big one. I mean, look, at the moment, like I've said several times, steady. 16 cup finals left for Manchester United. It's United Arsenal, and do you know something? These are the games that, I mean, you definitely will. But for my age group, these were the bangers in the Premier League season after season.
Oh, yeah.
United Arsenal. It was all out war. All out war. And I think it's going to be an interesting game this weekend. And we'll go through the team selection. We'll go through this. We'll go through that. But do you know something? They always say don't change a winning side. There are plenty of questions to come tonight, I think, regarding is Cunha going back in? Is Sesko? Because Sesko didn't even get on the pitch against City. So there's a lot of questions. Obviously, the Casemiro news, which we touched on last night, we'll go through a bit more tonight. But Kev, how the devil are you?
I'm all right, my man. I'm all right. Not too bad at all. Been around to see a couple of friends tonight, looking at pink laptops and all kinds of joyous things.
Honestly, that woman, man.
I don't know
that woman drives me insane. It made you a lovely
hang on a second. Hang on again.
Yeah, you're a joke. You're a joke. Look, we'll go through the comments because Carrick said some interesting things in the press conference. The thing I want to say straight away is how different are the press conferences now that we haven't got Emirates?
I've not seen the latest one, but the other ones were it's just a cool character, isn't he, Michael?
Calm, collective, just knows what he wants. And the thing that straight away I absolutely loved from the manager the head coach in this press conference was the fact that he said we need to balance confidence with realism. And I am hoping that everyone in the chat tonight, by the way, good evening, everybody. Make sure you get your comments and we'll go through them. I'm hoping that you all listen to that because, look, we've been here too many times with Manchester United where we've done a performance and we've got, I mean, I'll be honest, we haven't done a performance like that for a long time, but where we've come off the back of a fantastic win and we've gone, right, now we go.
Yeah. Oh, a big test then. Big test.
Massive
let's see if it's just the same as all the rest. We could be moaning our arses off by the end of it on Sunday, or we could be going, well, you know what? Actually, you know what? By the way.
No, I like the fact that he said one good performance doesn't make a great team, but it's a strong foundation to build on. And he's absolutely right there. Manchester United have to build on what they did against Manchester City. Now, it's away at the Emirates. It's always different away from home. You've got the roar of Old Trafford behind you. He would absolutely have loved the crowd and Manchester United being in their thousands, just giving the support to the team and, more importantly, giving the support to him. At the Emirates, it's going to be a different kettle of fish. Arsenal, whether we like it or whether we don't like it, whether Arsenal fans want to they like chucking it down everyone's throats at the moment, but they are a good side. They're a good, solid side. They're top of the Premier League. They're top of the Champions League. They're pretty much, I think, in the final of the Carabao Cup. They're in the FA Cup. They are fighting on all fronts at the moment. But with that, Manchester United are able to exploit it because they played midweek against Inter Milan. We've had a week off, so that's a bonus. Yep. I think Manchester United have to go into this with an element of not trepidation, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Do you see what I'm saying there?
Yeah. I think, I mean, not a massive drop-off, but I think they've had a tiny little dip in form, maybe. Tiny. So maybe it's a good time for us to play us as we're just had a little up in form just in one game, obviously, but I really don't expect there to be a massive drop off from the previous performance.
No,
I really can't see it with this team now, and that's purely based on formation. I can't see there being a massive drop off. It was a big high. That's a big game against Man City, and the City red for a week or so. So. No, I'm looking forward to it. Still a little bit anxious because I want to keep up the good form. Ultimately, our goal still hasn't changed. We still need to be in Europe. Whoever that was going to be in terms of interim, it hasn't really changed our mindset on what we want to do, which is we still need to be getting not dropping points, not dropping horrendous amounts of points to the end of the season.
No, I agree. And do you know something? I'm glad you said it like that, because do you know something? Carrick, I think, he said it in the press conference. It's been a great week in training. The lads would have been absolutely buzzing. I don't think that the Casemiro news would have rocked the team in any way. I think the team were kind of expecting him to go. So that's not been anything to hit our preparations. We've seen on the overlap that Paul Scholes has kind of said, you know something, I maybe shouldn't have said that because he's not there with his mate. I don't think there's any real... what's the word I'm looking for here? Things that are gonna take the lads' eyes off the ball here. I don't think there's going to be anything there. What I like is he said it's been a good week, a big result, a big performance, and that big uplift with the feeling inside the stadium helped. There's a lot of confidence, a lot of good feeling in the group, but measured with that is we know what is coming and we've got to be ready for it. Now, there's been reports this week that essentially Steve Holland, when he's come in with the training has been well reciprocated by the players, shorter but more intense. There is a trust, I think, given out to the players. And actually, something else you said there, Kev, this has to be on the players now on Sunday, because they've done an absolutely incredible performance against City. They have to back it up. They do. There's no, oh, well, it's Arsenal. No, bullshit. I'm not having that. If you can do what you did against the Man City side, you've got to do it, haven't you? You've got to.
They would have known going into that City game they need a massive performance. They would have known that, so they would have been up for it. And I've heard a few of the players saying Michael Carrick said we need to use the crowd and feel the energy from the crowd, and that helped a lot of them through the game. So obviously we're going to have our away support, which is pretty hardcore away support, but it's still the same mentality of this is a huge game for us. This is a huge game. It's the team that's the top of the league. The league doesn't lie. Certainly not at this stage of the season. It doesn't lie anyway. No, after Christmas, tough Christmas fixtures for everyone. Christmas period for everyone, and I just don't see a massive drop off in that performance. I just don't see it because I don't think the formation allows it.
No, I agree. It's a great comment, that, Kev, because what we saw against City, we saw obviously Casemiro was there to protect the back four, and Mainoo was almost that. He would drop deep, but he was the one that would push forward. And Casemiro, in so many occasions, you could see was like, absolutely, you go do that. I'll protect here, but when I need you back, you come back. And I thought he did very well with that. Now, what I like also is he says it's finding a balance between getting the encouragement and confidence from that game and keeping level-headed and keeping our feet on the ground. Now, after a performance like that, the players absolutely in training the next day would have been like, hang on a minute, we've just dominated City. We can go and do this against anyone, and I like that. But I do like the air of caution that he is displaying there. He also says about Arsenal, he says, I'm looking forward to the game. It's a big challenge. They're a very good team, which they are. Guys, I'm going to get in the comments. Don't worry. He says they've got so many strong points to their game. They are there for a reason, and we're fully aware of that and not taking that lightly at all. Credit to Arsenal. They're in a really strong place at the moment. Mikel has done a fantastic job. Lol. We've got our ideas and what needs to be done and how we need to get there. We feel in a good place with the real positive energy and enthusiasm to go there and be positive. But for sure, we know it won't come easy. And that is a sign of a manager, I think, saying to his players, look, they are a good side, but we know what you can do as the coaching staff, as the fans. We know what you can do. So let me go through the comments and then we'll follow up on that.
I've seen one from Chappie there. I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough.
Let's have a look.
I'm sure you'll get to it.
Ben, good to see you. Dan, hope you're well, mate. Steve-O, as always. Steve, is it half time there yet, mate? You'll have to let us know. Carl, good to see you. Good evening, Joe. Hope you're well. Carl says, I don't think Arsenal have played that well in league games recently and wouldn't be top if other teams weren't messing up so much. Do you know something? I don't like these comments. Love you, Carl, but I don't. Arsenal are top for a reason. It's not Arsenal's fault that everybody else has fallen to pieces. And I had this theory the other night when I was on Football's 12th Man, but I didn't get to ask Potts it. I just wonder if maybe the reason Arsenal aren't doing what they're doing is because they look at the teams around them and they go, do you know something? We don't actually have to get out of third or fourth gear every game to do so. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A title-winning team gets results where they're playing good or bad. We remember it. I mean, Christ, the treble season, we won it with 79 points. Do you know what I mean? We were so inconsistent. I think Arsenal are a good, solid side, and look, put it this way: if they're not playing well in their top, doesn't that say something that they're probably due a bloody good performance soon? And then Dan says, I think I'm overconfident about this game. I can actually see us winning. Okay. Carl says we should have beat them the first game of the season. That was Amarim. Well, that was with the Old Trafford crowd, though. Good evening, Chappie. Is that all he said? Oh, right. Hang on a minute. Here we go.
We're coming to it.
I can see it. Steve-O says, United playing away with the top team and with their crowd, and people think we're going to win. What's everyone been drinking? It'll be a draw at the very best. Whereas my pessimism isn't as bad like that, but I do see where Steve's coming from. So Chappie says City were very poor. Don't get too carried away.
I'm not getting too carried away. I'm going to come in on that one immediately. I'm not getting too carried away, but I'm not having City were very poor. City is City. City is City. They're second in the league, so the team has been like that for a few weeks. They've dropped off. Yeah, they're not playing as well as they were, but they're still City. They still had Haaland on. They still had Bernardo Silva on. They still had Phil Foden on the pitch. They had Semenyo on the pitch. They had Dorgu on the pitch. Just their defence was light. So I'm not buying into they were poor. They didn't play well because we did not allow them to play well. We were all over them. So I'll give you a little element of that, Chappie. I'll give you a little element of that. Maybe they weren't at their best. However, it's always the same. It's almost like this is what we hear from the pundits. The United won because the other team was shit. So that's why they were able to win. They weren't good at the back. They didn't play well at the back, but they had a lot of star players out on that pitch. And Rodri as well, by the way, was on that pitch. And we did a job on them. So I'll give you a little bit of it, but I'm going to push and let the balance lie in our favour on that one.
Do you know something, Kev? Normally, I'll argue the point a little bit with you on that, but actually, I'm going to agree with you on that. Like, look, City were poor. I agree, but I agree with Chappie. They were, but the reason they were poor is they were not expecting this Manchester United side to come out and do what they did. And yes, you could say they had a lane at the back, so they were missing defenders at the back. But do you know something? What happened was City come with a game plan, thinking they could press us high up the pitch. And what come with that was us being able to hit them on the counter-attack so many times. And I think with that, it's a funny one, really, because with that, Manchester United, from the first minute, they dominated. Yes, City had spells in the game where they had possession, but you know something? When we beat Wolves 4-1, they had possession. It happens. Teams are always going to have possession. But I actually think the way we set up in that game, the way that the players took on their roles, I think they absolutely smothered City. And I think that made it so that they were so poor. Obviously, yes, there is an element of City's players where it wasn't a great City side. I'm willing to say that, but this is the Premier League. You know, you have a squad of players for a reason. That squad is there for you to be able to go on and consistently beat teams and get up the table and win a Premier League. Their squad is what it is. They still had a world-class goalkeeper in goal. They still had the top scorer in the Premier League up top. They still had Foden. They still had Dorgu. They still had Rodri. They had Bernardo Silva. They had a lot of good players there. Semenyo there. They had a lot of players there. So whereas I see what Chappie's saying, I also agree with you, Kev. I think if you go and stick it to teams and not allow them to breathe, yeah, absolutely. They're not going to look great. Mark's got a great comment here. He says, the bar is set. The bar has been set. If they dip back to previous levels, the fans will blow. It's down to the players. We know they have the quality after City. It's all down to intensity. And absolutely, Mark, I love that comment. And in fact, you know something? I'm pinning that comment because it absolutely is about the intensity. It absolutely is about the fact that we know these players have the quality that they do. I think this now... we're talking about, I mean, people are saying, give Carrick the job. Don't give Carrick the job. Give him till the end of the season. It's his, it's his to earn. I will go as far to say as this, right? Manchester United players have been very fortunate, I think, over the last couple of months where I nearly timed him out there. And let me that replaced. They've been very fortunate that the fact of the matter is the Amarim situation took control of the narrative of Manchester United's season. It did. There were so many fans that said, you know something, this formation doesn't work. These players are being asked to play in a formation that doesn't fit the way they play. And that's fine because I was one of them saying that. But the other side of the coin to that is we know the qualities of our players. We watch them every week. We know they have these in their lockers. Manchester City, Arsenal, Okay, yes, Arsenal are top at the moment, but that City team still has a lot of players that won Premier Leagues, won Champions Leagues. Arsenal, there are question marks over whether their team is the real deal. Manchester United, player for player, and we'll go through that shortly. They have more than enough answers to the questions that Arsenal will pose, and the biggest thing there will be the intensity. We have to make sure that we try and smother them. We have to make sure that we do what we're good at, which is pressing from the front. We did it so well against City. So these comments like this, I adore comments like this, and I think they're really good. Ben says, surely the players realise that was a poor City side 2. Arsenal game will be much harder. Again, I take that on board because Arsenal's defence is Arsenal's defence. They are solid, and you've got...
Right, so hang on a second.
Go on.
Let's make a bit of clarification here. It wasn't a poor City side. We've just named half of the team they're not poor players, right? That's not a poor City side. They didn't play well. Let's get the distinction on that. I'm happy to, concede that they didn't play well. That's not a poor City side with all those players we just mentioned there. So I'll argue the toss about that if you want me to. It's not a poor City side. I think they didn't play well. I'm happy to concede that.
Okay. No, I take that, but I do also
just because I've watched a lot of analysis of this match, over the week.
No, I take that.
It was very eye-opening. The analysis on the man marking, Manu moving into the centre, but then Casemiro and Manu staying very close together, allowing Bruno to into the channel, these balls getting passed in first time, and all this kind of stuff. So I don't think it was. We just named all the players. They've got the best striker in the world potentially playing for him that didn't have a sniff. They've got two of the best wingers in Europe playing for him. They've got one of the best jinking little midfielders in playing for them as well that didn't have a sniff either. They had one of the best midfielders in the world as well in Rodri. The defence wasn't great, but they still brought on the other big tall boy. He didn't do well either when he came on. He got
something to add on to that. The blame has to go on Pep Guardiola because he'll have known this defence wasn't where they needed it to be. Why on earth would you tell them to push forward? Why on earth would you tell them to take risks? So
you know what it was like, Dan? It was like Rocky Balboa versus Apollo Creed. Rocky Balboa versus Apollo Creed. That's what it was like. Everyone thought Apollo Creed was going to knock the crap out of Rocky, and actually, if you don't watch him, he's going to smash you and he's going to knock you out, which is what we did to them. So they just weren't.
As you said, we're going to smash you.
Yeah, they just weren't ready for us. I just don't think they expected us. I'm not buying into that. They're a poor City team. It's not a poor City team. They're second in the league, so they just didn't play as well as they have been.
The other thing for me as well, and this is what I'll take on Ben's point actually, because I agree with Ben that the game will be.
You agree with everyone that I disagree with?
No, hear me out. Let me land on this. It will be a harder game because the simple fact of the matter is that Arsenal duo, and I had some comments thrown at me last night because I think people misinterpreted what I was saying. Gabriel and Saliba as a partnership could, I think, if they stick together, if they keep and if they go on to win things, could go down as one of the better, not the best, one of the better defensive partnerships in the Premier League because they absolutely complement each other's game, and it will be a different way of playing it for Manchester United, and we'll go through the team. So I do take that on board, but again, I agree with you, Kev. I think Manchester United. I think we got credit, but I think there was a thinly lined dig of this isn't the proper City side.
Yeah.
I agree.
It wasn't the proper defence. Yeah. I'll give you that absolutely. They were lacking in defence, and we took we took advantage of that. However, you've got to play up to that defence to begin with, and we did.
Yeah. No, I agree. What else have we got? City were poor, but Arsenal is also poor. Of course, it's not Arsenal's fault the rest are shit, but Arsenal aren't good or they're due a collapse. And they could be. Well, they absolutely could be. It could be a case of I'm bigging them up and saying they're winning ugly. It could be a fact that they are running out of legs. They've played a lot of football. Carl says, I'm just not totally convinced by them at all. Arsenal comfortably 3-0. Arsenal 3-0, says Akko, sorry. Carl says the performance against Liverpool was, though, they went for a point. If you're a really good side, go there and beat them. Yeah, I'll take that. Think City then going on to lose. Bodo Glimp shows how poor they are. Do you know what? I don't think it's how poor they are. I think when a team is struggling, and they are struggling, I think that's why. I think that has everything to do with the loss. I think their confidence is on the floor.
It's they're not playing well. They're not playing very well at the moment. They've lost a bit of something. They've lost a bit of sparkle. But I don't think. Yeah, how can you call that? It's not a poor team. Man for man, if you just put that team on a team sheet and put it next to Bodo Glimt's team, you're just going to go, well, City are going to absolutely smash them, as a lot of people thought they were going to do against United. Even though man for man, in terms of the names we've got in our team, you'd think, well, we've got some pretty good players in our team as well. We just don't know how to play at all.
We've had these good players all season, Kev. They've just been playing in the wrong frigging positions. Do you know what I mean? And
I mean, it's just screaming at us now, isn't it? That formation was so wrong for our team.
So wrong.
And I didn't really believe that. I feel like a bit of a plum for saying, oh, we know, well, let's not talk about the system. Yeah, it was completely wrong. Completely wrong.
Mate, it's like being in an abusive relationship. You don't realise you're in it until you're out of it. And I think that's the same with Amorim. We didn't realise just how bad. I mean, look, I said it from the start. And I'm not saying that as a haha, I told you so. But like, there was such a divide in the fan base about, no, it's not the system, it's the players. They're not doing the things they're being told. But when you watched us back in that formation, 4-2-3-1, with Bruno pulling the strings, you just realised. And I'll say it, I'll absolutely say it. If we'd have played this formation all season with the players playing in their positions that they need to, let's not forget, by the way, that was the first time that we saw Bryan and Bruno so close together. I honestly feel like this season looks a lot different. I don't think we go out of both cups so early on. I don't think that we're struggling, in a sort of competition here between us and 10th to try and get that Champions League. I think it looks a lot more positive.
I think the thing that I didn't understand, that I didn't really get about it, is, which I think I said in the live streams and in the watch-alongs as well. What I don't get is these are like highly professional athletes that we've got at our club, at all the clubs. And, they train all week. Why can't they understand how to play in a different position? What is it so difficult about this is the position you're going to play? And why can't they adapt quickly to new positions? That's what I couldn't really get my head around.
Do you know what, though, Kev? My retort to that is, I'm going to put these scissors over there, man. That my answer to that is, you can train somebody or a group of players to play a certain way every day for 14 months. You can say, right, you are going to play this formation. But when they get on that football pitch, if the team they're playing has the answer to every question they're trying to ask, they're going to look and go, well, hang on a minute. I'm doing what I'm told.
It's not working.
But it's not working. No matter what we're doing here, Bruno Fernandes, right, I'm doing what I'm told. I'm trying to be that deep-lying playmaker, but I'm getting overrun here. I'm getting played through the park. The wing-backs, okay, I'm doing what I'm told. I'm going up there as quick as I can. Then I'm trying to but we're still getting battered. So it's like, for all intents and purposes, the players, and again, the players do take some of the blame for me, but they're probably being told all these things. Look, do this and we'll win games. And they're coming off the pitch and going, we're doing what you're saying, Ruben, but we're not winning fucking games here. So, yeah. And the way Arsenal is playing, I don't think the way Arsenal are playing is embarrassing at all. You're not top of the league by accident. You're not. Lawrence says we should draw or lose heroically. Want to see Sesko back as a priority to encourage the lad.
I think he might play. I think he might play. I've got a little feeling that he might play.
We'll go on to the selection in a minute with that. AFC, good to see you, mate. He says United played well against City, take nothing away. And City and Arsenal aren't in the Champions League because they've swapped magic beans. But they're both good teams and they've earned it. I agree with that. How did they do in the Champions League against the bottom side this week? Yeah, but Chappie, I remember us losing against fucking young boys when we had Ronaldo. We were in the pomp. I mean, we went down to 10 men. That just happens. That just happens. Dan's got splinters in his arse agreeing with everyone. I'm not agreeing. Do you know what it is? I'm being diplomatic because actually, and I'll say this, for the streams we do, I actually think everybody is making valid points tonight. I think everybody's points are valid. Some of them I'm like, I'm not sure about, but I do agree with a lot of what's being said. And actually, this is a product of the fact that Manchester United, for the first time in ages, have come out, played a style of football that has made us attractive, that has made us look and go, hang on a second, there's something here. But equally, I think there are other conversations with the fact that people saying Arsenal are just this, there. And I feel like I'm backing Arsenal here, and that's not my job. But what I am saying is, I'll say it again, you're not top of the league in the Champions League, in the Premier League. We've just made the point. Man City lost against the bottom side. What does that say about them? Well, hang on a second. Arsenal are top in the Champions League. What does that say about them? So I just think we've got to remember and we've got to think about this because we don't realise this because we've not been in this situation for a long time. They're in every competition.
Yeah.
Those lads are playing a game every 2 or 3 days. Do you know what I'm saying?
There was a slight difference in the City game as well. And the difference with the City game for me is, we've had some good results this season. Like the Liverpool result was a good result. The Brighton result was a good result. But at the same time, within those matches, there was times in the match where we were like, oh my God, what's happening? What's happening? This is what they're doing. However, against City, it was the full game, consistent, played well. It didn't drop off at times at all like that. We soaked up the pressure when we needed to, and we went forward the same with consistency throughout the match. In these other games, we were hanging on against Liverpool. I mean, how torturous was that game? You remember we sat here. How torturous was that game?
Yeah.
I thought the Brighton game. Were you live with me? The Brighton game, was that me on my? No, you were with me on the Brighton game, weren't you?
No, not the one we. No, I was with Daniel.
So I mean, we couldn't believe that, and then we were the Bournemouth game. We just kept going, and then just kept losing goal, and then losing another goal, scoring, losing. So it was just like there was moments within those games where you're like, "Whoa, this is it! Oh, look at that! That was great play." And then it's crap again for 20 minutes, and then it's 5 minutes of good play. It's a goal for us. But in the City game, we dominated that game. I know maybe the stats.
Every player
played.
Every player put a shift in that game, and you can put that to a couple of things. You can put that to finally not sulking about the formation. You can put it to the fact that they've got a manager there that they go, right, okay, everything he's telling me, I'm taking on board because I know I can do that. So, it's right. It's one game with a new manager. One swallow doesn't make a summer. Love that comment, Chappie. Love that comment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I actually disagree with you down on Arsenal. And do you know something, Carl? That's perfect, mate. I want you to. I want people to, because I'm not right all the time. Mrs. Robertson will tell you that. But what I will say is a broken clock is right twice a day. So I'm going to say on that. Arsenal play better in Europe. Make it out what you will. I agree with that. I keep saying, do you know what? Ben's got me there. I do say I agree with that. Sesko will play. A good comment I heard was he's still not back to full fitness and his touch is struggling because of the knee injury. So when that's fixed, he'll be back in the starting 11. Did we overperform against... Let's ask this to the chat. This is a great question. Did we overperform against City, or is it down to the system? We've seen one game so far with this manager and too many with the old one. We'll only know the answer after a few more games.
I don't know. What does that mean? How can you overperform? How do you overperform? What is overperforming?
What I'm saying is, and I actually see what Steve's saying here, was that our game of the season done? Do you know what I mean? Was that everything just clicked? You have that game where everything just clicked. Was that the game where we went, oh my God, but at the end of the season, we'll go, do you remember that City game? Fuck me, that was good. But it never got better after that, did it?
Well, we were saying that about the Liverpool game.
This goes back to consistency, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. This goes back to the consistent side of it. For once, I'll back the manager on whatever team he puts out. I cannot and I will not make a comment about his fucking team on Sunday. I will never start a stream like that again.
So angry.
Champions League, yeah, for Arsenal, but Premier League, they haven't been dominating matches and winning easily. That's fair. Isaac, good to see you, my man. Bubba Flossie, good to see you in the house. What a game last night for us. Did either of you watch it? No, I didn't. All I know is you lost against a team that didn't have a shot on target. It was horrendous.
No, I didn't watch it. No, sorry.
Time will tell. While it's a derby, it sets you up for the rest. If you perform like that, you'll get top 4. Love that. Thank you very much. The lineup was perfect and the substitutions, and still the performance was 42,300% better than any game. Yeah, I agree. And also, Carl says the players being comfortable in the system now. I agree. And that brings us into the nice next bit. That's a perfect segue, Carl, because we're going to go through look, this was the lineup, and let me share this with you. So this was the lineup against Arsenal, against Man City. That was the lineup. So it was a 4-2-3-1. It was Dallo at the right, Dallo right back. It was Shaw left back. It was Martinez and Maguire, Lemmy in goal, Mainu and Casemiro, Ahmad, Dorgu on the wings. Love Kev. How nice does it feel to say on the wings? By the way, Fernandez, Bruno in the cam, and then we had Bryan up there. Now, the question I'm going to ask everyone here: do we think he sticks with the same 11 for this game. I think he'll make a couple of changes, but do we think he will stick with the 11? Because if he does, then that's the video done. We may as well pack up and go home. I do think he'll make some changes there. Let me just go through his comments quickly. Neither of you missed. Yeah, that was bad.
Not sure.
We've seen it with most teams. New manager, first game, team players. Yeah, they do play beyond their capabilities, and we have to see how we go after a few games. Arsenal will be difficult, but we need to beat other teams around us just to be consistent. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to clear the lineup as I like to do. You know, I like to clear a lineup, and I'm going to put Lemmy in goal because that's just we don't need to even have that conversation.
Nebrinar.
Now, this is the conversation that I ask. Because there's a certain AFCON finalist that we have missed horrifically. His name is Mazraoui. Is there a conversation here, chat, for Mazraoui over Dalot? And I don't want to hear all of this, well, he's been away at a tournament, he'll be knackered because he's played the same amount of games that we've played in the Premier League and the FA Cup. I want to know, and Kev, I want you in on this as well, who do we go for here? Do we go for Dalot or do we go for Mazraoui? Bearing in mind that it will... Well, no, I'm not going to go further. I want to know that first.
I'll put Mazraoui in. Mazraoui for me, yeah.
I would absolutely... Chat, who are you picking, Mazraoui or Dalot? Baba says, I saw somewhere that he is available because we didn't give him as much time off as people think. I'm not putting Mazraoui. I put Mazraoui back. Arsenal.
If he's available, he goes in for me. If he's available, caveat: if he's available, he's in for me.
Yeah, I've got that he's back. I've got that he's back for it, guys. So it's uncertain. Yeah, if he's pulled up. Anyway, regardless, who are we going with? Depends how ready. I'd play Maz. Maz are not available. Maz pulled up in training, I heard. If he's 100%, he should play. I'd keep the understanding between Dalot and Ahmad.
After the performance in the second half from Diogo Dalot, then I wouldn't be massively against him starting if that's the person that's there, because he played much better the second half. I mean, I wrote down it. Yeah, there was only one thing he did. He lost the ball for a Haaland shot on 53 minutes in the second half. That's the only bad thing I got him down for. Whereas the four things in the first half, which was the Dalot watch. I was doing the Dalot watch because I was so annoyed and disappointed with him.
Do you know? Look, we'll put him in because there's conflicting reports here that he's injured, that he's not. Blah blah blah. We'll put him in. But actually, I actually second half that was quality from Dalot. Yeah. I think he was very he was disciplined in the way he played. I thought the first 20 minutes, I thought he was all over the place. What I don't like seeing is Dalot going into the central midfield. Now that could be something he's told to do. He could be told, when we're pushing up the field, you go into that midfield. I actually don't like it when he does that, because what seems to happen, and it really fucks me off, is he seems to pick the ball up every time in a really decent area where you want an Mbeumo, where you want a Fernandes, where you want, a Cunha, where you want a Sesko. He seems to be picking these balls up, and I'm like, get him out of the way. He can't finish. So I want him to be out the way. If he's playing right back, stay at fucking right back. Okay, let's have a look. Hang on a minute. Start Dalot, and surely he'll pick up a yellow, bring on Mazza. Be interested to see if Mazza's on the bench. That finish from Yates, so honestly, it was sublime, worthy of winning any game. Isaac, I feel for you guys at the moment. I feel for you at the moment.
Did they lose? I don't know. What did Forest lose?
Yeah, they lost to Braga 1-0. Yeah, it's not great, Brett. It's not great. And Ben's trying to bait me here. I'm sick of seeing these long throws. AFC says probably Leo. We'll find out tomorrow. About Calfury and hints a bit. Yeah, Arsenal have got a couple, haven't they? A couple of potential issues there. Okay, left back, I think we all know is going to be Luke Shaw.
Yep.
I don't think we need to even question that. And actually, I'm going to say this now. I don't think Luke Shaw got enough credit after the City game because I thought he did okay against Semenyo. I was expecting Semenyo to be like I was terrified. An informed Semenyo, I thought he'd get 2 or 3. I really did.
Luke Shaw's one of the few players that can have his head held high for the whole of this season. For even as bad as we've been,
I agree.
He's one of the only players in that team that you can say he's done his best every single game that he's played for us, whatever position, whatever role he's been asked to play.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that. The question is, surely I don't think we changed the centre-back partnership in this game.
Yes, but stop calling me Shirley.
So I think we're all happy with the Maguire and Martinez. Martinez will be happy actually because he's not that much shorter than the likes of Jesus, and that's why he doesn't need to worry about height in that game. The boys Butt and Co will have nothing to say, I should imagine. Mm-hmm. Now the midfield too, straight away, that man, first name on the team sheet for midfield, and I want to say something here. I have been saying all season that it got to a point where I think it was practically bullying with Amorim. I got to the point where I genuinely thought it was just a case of Amorim just didn't like Kobbie Mainoo. And for Kobbie Mainoo to do what he did against City, and look, he didn't score a hat-trick. He didn't get 3 assists. But what he did do, every move that we were in, that we were doing little triangles and we were playing our way from the back out of there into the midfield, guess what? He was one of the players at the heart of it. I thought, considering against Man City, he lasted 90 minutes and he didn't look knackered, contrary to what fucking Gary Neville said. I actually think if I was Mainoo, I'd have literally sent a signed shirt to Amorim. I would have sent that signed shirt to Amorim and said, there you go, mate. That's what I can do. So Mainoo for me is in that midfield, and I don't have any concerns with him being in there. I also think Casemiro. I don't know about you, Kev. I thought he was. He
got man of the match.
He was incredible.
They got man of the match. They gave him man of the match.
That I actually think that midfield two there. I think that's what you'll see for the rest of the season, bar injuries and bans. I don't think there's a need to. I don't think there's a need to change that up.
No, and I think Shaw can handle Saka. I think he can. I think he has in the past. He does. He always does well against Salah, and he did well. He did well against Semenyo, who's in better form at the moment. Semenyo, Saka. There's not much between them two players at the moment, is there?
Well, I mean, is AFC still in here? Because AFC, I'd like to ask you this. I don't think Saka has been as good as some fans would have.
The Arsenal fans are not. Is there an Arsenal fan in? I think I'd said to you, it wasn't on stream. At some point we were spoken. It was on stream. The fan reactions. A lot of the Arsenal fans were saying, "Why can't we make 5-yard passes? We'll be struggling to make 5-yard passes." They weren't happy with their team. I know they expect high standards, but that's because of the season they've had as well. It'll be a much tougher game. I'm not going to say it's going to be as easy as the City game. It'll be a much tougher game.
Do you know something? I actually think AFC says he's not as good as normal and he makes the wrong decisions instead of making simple passes. I think the reason that Saka hasn't been as good this season, I think you have to put it down to Arteta. And I mean that because I think Saka, not before he got injured last season, but the season before, he was overplayed. And Baba Flossie makes a good comment. When you see Madueke come on the pitch, Madueke is a bugger for bringing that ball to the byline and drawing players in to draw that foul. So I look, Saka's quality, he is, and I hope that he gets form, back to his absolute best before the World Cup, because first name on the team sheet, either side of what Kane is for me. I think he's incredible, but. And look, saying this, he could probably score a fucking hat-trick against us now, but I don't think we're seeing the same Saka that we've been used to, and I think he has struggled for being overplayed. Now, this here, I mean, obviously, we'll put the main man in there, because that is
that's a no-brainer as well. I think
Defin Taxes and Bruno. But this is where I think the questions, and you can see...
this is a tricky little front three,
It is, because... I actually look. A lot of people have said Cunha after his cameo against City, He was at his creative best. I thought he was brilliant. That was the Cunha we signed. But I don't think that is enough to start Cunha in this game because Wahaha's going to shoot me for this. I think Dorgu's been so good in that more advanced role. And I think what Dorgu does so well is he pushes them back. He pushes them back with his pace, his chaos. He's got a goal against City. His confidence will be through the roof at the moment. So I don't think it is a terrible thing as a Manchester United fan for me to sit here and say to you all, do we need to start Cunha in this game? And chat, I'll ask you that. But Kev, what's your thoughts on that as well?
That is so tricky because they all played really well. Ahmad played really well. Dorgu played really well. And so did Bryan and Mbeumo. And they interchanged really well, actually. You know, and we played a lot of 4-4-2 in that match as well. But you know how much I like Cunha. He's a proper Man United player. You just don't know what you're going to get from him. I don't know how he keeps hold of the ball sometimes. He has had a couple of absolute stinking games for us. But that cross that he put in for Dorgu, it was so out of the blue that Dorgu got into the end of it and that he managed to get that ball into the box. I didn't think anything was coming of that. We were sort of sitting relaxing, not really.
Mate, do you remember the words I said? When he picked the ball up, I went, come on, Cunha, do something with the ball. Do what we've got. And he did it, and it was fantastic. And actually, when he come on, I thought he was really good with the hold-up
I think it's a massive... This front three is a massive question mark. But also, do we think that already that Carrick's earned the right or has got the right for us, for whatever players he chooses in this top three now, for us to go, okay, that's the ones he's picked, rather than us going, oh, bloody hell, oh, he's not done this, he's not done that, why is he not playing so-and-so, why is he not doing so-and-so? Because, you know, we were feeling a bit like that at the start of the Man City game.
Yeah.
But the starting formation was correct and the subs were correct at the right time as well.
But more to the point as well, and I agree with that. I agree with that. But more to the point, and Ben, I'm going to bring your comment on because I think that's a good comment. Isn't it nice in this formation to have this headache? Yeah. Isn't it nice to be able to say, well, if we drop Dorgu, we'll put Cunha in. But hang on a minute, if we put Sesko in, we've got to drop Ahmad because Bryan and Mbeumo will have to play on that right. This is a situation that we have been waiting for, and this is a situation all season that we could have had. We could have had these arguments. We've not even talked about Mason Mount. We've not even discussed the fact. We've not even discussed the fact that Shea Lacey's back for this game. We've not even discussed the fact that we've got Xerxes on the bench. You know, that could come. There are so many variations of this front three that we could have done all season, that we should have done all season. And actually, a comment you just made there about does he earn the right to do it? I'll go one further than that. Because he did what he did against Man City, this makes it that bit harder for us. For Wenger there, for Mikel Arteta, because Arteta is now going to be thinking, "Hang on a minute, I've got to set up for if they start with Mbeumo up top. I've got to be set up for if they start Cunha on the left instead of Dorgu. I've got to start get a setup ready for if they put Sesko up there." Now, what I would say, and I'll come to your comment in a second, Ben, because it's a good comment. But what I would say, Z is spot on here. I think Sesko for set piece defending and for ours is a must because, you've got Harry Maguire, you've got Casemiro. Who else is bringing the height in that team for when we have set pieces? You're going to need to have the height because Arsenal and actually Manchester United should get a lot of credit here because Manchester United from set pieces this season are one of the top top attackers. They are. I actually think this three here. Let me see if the mouse. You can see my mouse. This three here is such a difficult conversation. Such a difficult conversation because you would sit here now and quite honestly say Bryan is, out of all of those players, the man that starts. But where does Bryan start? Does he start up top? Does he displace Ahmad, who I thought was very good against Manchester City? So, again, chat, I'll ask you,
I'm really not sure about it. I mean, it's easy to just go, well, just start the same three that played in the other game, but I just don't know. You might look at the Arsenal team and go, right, this is what we're going to do this time. So I really don't know. A very sneaky feeling that Seshko will start, but I don't know who comes out of the team for that.
Well, Ben says he'd rather have Cunha come off the bench like me and really have an impact. Switching them, I can't see Dorgu coming off the bench and being a game changer. And I absolutely think that's spot on. Cunha has the ability to come on in the 70th minute after Dorgu's running ragged, up and down, and be a complete different option that Ben White or Timber, whoever plays at right back, has got to face. They will have gone from having a player explosive all game to a player that knows how to hold on to the ball, that knows how to draw a foul, that knows how to get that ball into the box. It's a different conversation altogether. So I like that comment. Z says, Sesko, Ahmad and Bryan. I don't think Bryan plays on the left, though. I don't think he does that. And we've seen before that we're not going to play Ahmad off the left. Carl says, I think Sesko would struggle against the Arsenal 2 centre-backs. We need someone who will run in behind. And then he also follows up and says, you can't just play a striker for defending set pieces. We need pace in behind like City. Can we also just pay homage to the fact here that Sesko isn't a slouch? Sesko's got pace. Sesko's got pace. Where's the weaknesses in Arsenal defence? The weakness for me for this weekend for Arsenal would be their left back. I think if we can exploit that left back, we'll be all right. Now, to be fair, you've got 2 players who I think would do very well at doing that, Ahmad and Bryan. So this just makes the decision for who we play in that front three extremely, extremely difficult. Chappie says, I think we start the team to see if it wasn't a one-off on Sunday. Wouldn't be opposed to that. Wahaha says, well, I got so used to be fuming at Amarim's lineups. I have to learn to accept the new manager knows better. Mate, I am absolutely with you there.
We're all with that.
I'm absolutely with you there. It's tough, isn't it? Cunha would murder him because he knows how to pass the players. Anthony, good to see you, mate. I hope you are well. He says, evening all, sorry, just popping on. We'll watch back later. Absolutely no reason not to start with the same team as the last game. Can't argue it worked a treat. Mm-hmm. Love that comment. Yeah. Arsenal play a high defensive line. This is a great comment, by the way, because they do. Arsenal are going to do what City did. Make no mistake about it. And there were elements at Old Trafford at the start of the season. Do you remember, Kev, when Cunha managed to get through and he had that one-on-one but just run out of gas? They will play that high line. They will. Lawrence says we can't decide on whether Dorgu is a fullback or a winger now. We should shove Bryan central. We need to tune the Amarim formation more intelligently. I'm going to say this now. I actually think Dorgu is a winger. I don't think he's a left back. Maybe in time he will adapt and he will grow into that position. But I think for the moment, I think you absolutely have to play him as a winger. He offers too much, far too much. Cash, good to see you, mate. He says, what changed between us facing Arsenal in game week 1 to now? Ahmad and Mainu starts, Bruno up top again, De Ligt injured, Bayern there binned, Cunha on the bench and Amarim sacked. Only constant is Cassie, Shaw and Delo. A lot's changed. The formation for one. It absolutely. Playing with 2 wingers against Arsenal will be a different kettle of fish. I think the fact now we've got used to, as Manchester United fans, for so long, our ethos was wing play. Bombing down those wings, allowing the fullbacks to overlap, bringing players in. We were starved of that for 14 months. That's what I think.
There's no way the other teams in our league, in the Premier League, won't have perked their eyes up at that performance against Man City. Everyone will have gone, oh, hang on a minute. All the other teams. So we've got that in our favour as well.
I absolutely think that's spot on. Sesko for Carrick is the new menu for Ruben. I don't think it's that. I think it's too early to say that, Ben. I think it'd be a bit naive of us to say, oh, he hates him, he's not playing him. I don't think it's. I don't think he's got
that in him. I don't think he's got that in him. He's not as stubborn. I don't think.
And do you know something? I've got to play this because Wahaha has just give him praise. Wahaha has just said, so far, so good on the wing for Dorgu. I've been alive to see so many things in my life, but to see him say that, wow, that's incredible. You know it's a good thing if Wahaha's changing his mind slightly. Dorgu is effective as a winger, defensively is weak. He is, Anthony, but at the same time, I thought he did okay. I thought he was very good coming back and helping Shaw out at the weekend. All wingers can play the same these days. Always wanting to come inside drives me mad. And I'm praising him a lot lately. Stop making a scene of it. Is Dorgu someone you see run down the line or drift inwards? He runs down the line. This is the thing with Dorgu. He is the definition of he will stick to that left. He just sticks. He hugs that left. And we talk about wingers coming inside all the time. That's what she said. That was bad. That was scratch that. That was bad. That was. But Dorgu is a classic case of holding that ball and going down the left. So absolutely. So chat. Look, I'm going to ask the question: who starts up top against Arsenal on Sunday? Kev, give me yours first.
I know what I'd like to see, but I think it'll be Bryan Mbeumo.
You go in Bryan, are you?
I think it'll be Bryan. Yeah, I think it'll be Bryan.
You go in Bryan.
I think it'll be exactly the same team. If I'm thinking about it a little bit more, I think it'll be exactly the same again.
Ben says Bryan. Dan says Dorgu's much better on the wing, and he did well. He did do well defensively. Get your comments in chat. I want to know. I want to know. Filthy that, yeah, it was, Carl. I'll be honest with you. I feel dirty saying that. I have to apologise. That was disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful. Running the line, overlapping, and a bit of mid wide defensive cover. Yes, as main part of defence, he is shite. I don't want to stalemate either. We bang them or get muscled up again from a corner. I truly have a feeling that we're going to smash them 3 or 4-1. Okay. Dorgu left, Bryan, Ben top, Bryan right. So you're going Sesko up top. Wahaha. Bryan through the middle for me, says Carl. Oh, do you know something? Yeah, I know I could get cat. It's only tomfoolery. Don't do that, Ben. Would like to see Sesko up top, but wouldn't be upset. And this is, do you know, Anthony? That is such a good point. I don't think I'd be upset at either. Yeah, I don't think I'd be upset.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Exactly right. Yeah,
I'm going to go with the masses on this one, and I think he will do Bryan. I think he'll start Bryan. So that leaves, on the right-hand side, I think we can all safely say that would leave Ahmad. And then it's the question, isn't it? On the left, does he bring Cunha back into the team, or does he keep Dorgu? And Steve-O, it is bloody hard, but I tell you what, it's a great argument to have.
Good thing.
It is a good thing. Does he start Cunha on the left, or does he start Dorgu, chat? Kev?
We're not even making a case for Mount playing there, but yeah, I think it's going to be Dorgu again. I think
I think Dorgu as well. Yeah. I think Dorgu.
He played too well.
He did. An AFC spot on. Can't be dropping Dorgu after that performance. Dorgu left. Ahmad right. Bryan up top. Subs would be Cunha for Dorgu after 60 and Sesko for Bryan after 75. That's not a bad shape. Dorgu with Cunha to come off the bench, says Anthony. Anybody else? Any other takers? Any
more for any more?
Anthony says he can't believe he just said that. So we are looking at an unchanged side, guys. We're looking at an unchanged side. And do you know something? Let me just get rid of that a second. I nearly got rid of you, Kev. I am not 100% that he goes with the same side.
No, I'm not either.
Yeah, there's that element.
Like we just said, I'm not going to be dead upset or dead annoyed if there's a couple of changes somewhere in there.
I am. I
just thought then, I don't know whether I've got a sneaky feeling Mount might start against Arsenal. I don't know what that is, just because he's a London boy and all the rest of London. No, just because I don't know.
Do you know something? I actually think in this formation, I think now you might see the end of Mount at Manchester United. I think in that other formation, I think it suited him because he was able to get more minutes in that 10 role, and he was very busy with it. But I don't see Mount getting many starts now in this formation, unless there's injuries. I can't see it, and that's a shame because I think Mount's done well this season. Lacey's got to come off that bench, hasn't he? Because straight away, if I bring this back up a second, let me just bring this back up a second. You look at who you've got for each player here, right? And this is so fucking nice. So for Bryan, you can change it to Sesko as a substitution. For Dorgu, you can change it for Cunha as a substitution. Yeah. For Ahmad, you can change it for Lacey as a substitution. For Fernandez, no, he's not subbing Fernandez. For Dallo, you can put Mazza on there.
Well, Fernandez is Mount. That's Mount's position. That's the sub for Mount, would be Fernandez.
Yeah, exactly. The whole
choices.
situation,
It's great to have the choices.
That's it. The choices.
These are not crap players that are coming on either. These are good players that are coming on.
Exactly that. When we played that old formation, it was like, oh, who are we going to bring on? Who can actually play in that system? Who can, like, it baffled me, Kev. It baffled me. Agate, definitely not. Bruno, you can bring Mount on. Yeah, you can. You can bring Mount on if you need to. I thought after mentioning Lacey, you were going to pull up your Google search history. Definitely not. Definitely not. To be fair, my Google search is just cats. It's cats and players on this. We didn't forget about Xerxes. We purposely just didn't mention him because, again, I think Xerxes goes before the end of the window. I think he goes. I think he goes. And guys, we're forgetting sometimes you can attack more with less attackers. Yeah, absolutely. Right, now this comes the next bit. I'm going to ask the question, chat. Give me cats and where does Simon Hooper live? Never going to live that down. In fact, that's a good point. Who's the ref for the Arsenal game? Who is the ref?
Please not Michael Oliver.
Oh, it does this all the time. Hang on, let me just bring that back up a second.
Please not Michael Oliver.
Who is the ref for Arsenal versus Man United? Craig Pawson.
Another arsehole.
What's this here? Hang on a minute. 2 seconds. Let me just read this.
Free Xerxes.
Okay, so yeah. Interestingly, chat, Craig Pawson was the referee in charge when we played Brentford, and Collins should have been sent off.
Dirty beep.
Dirty beep indeed. Dirty beep. Dirty. So that's going to be an interesting one. That's going to be a factor. Yeah. That's going to be a factor. How about a farewell goal from Xerxes for United fans against Arsenal before saying goodbye? It would be emotional. Xerxes lad is a wonderful human. Do you know what? I'd just take a message that Casemiro's done. I'm happy for him to, do his Instagram post. Xerxes for me is finished at this club. I don't think he fits. Put it this way. Let me ask you this. Would Xerxes have added anything on Saturday? Would he have added anybody or anything on Saturday? Would him bringing on? I tell you what, he'd done. He'd have slowed the play down. We wouldn't have been able to counter like we do. And if that's the way the Carrick's looking to do this now with this formation, that we become a team that hits on the counter, you don't do that with Xerxes. Xerxes is a player that holds the ball up and does his thing. So I think Xerxes goes before the end of the season. But guys, get your score predictions in the chat now, please. Kev, what are you going for on Sunday?
2-2.
2-2.
Desmond.
A Desmond. Oh, you dirty little shit! Because I think that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that I'm thinking 2-2 as well. I've got 2-2. I could feel another address being added to Dan's book, lol. Xerxes, no. Not a chance. He's a lazy git. Get him gone. Finished. Did he ever really start? So, yeah, Steve's gone for a Desmond as well. Carl's gone 2-0. Oh, fucking hell.
Carl.
Anthony said,
3-0
United. Fuck
right.
it.
I'll take these results.
Let me say something with that. If United went to the Emirates and smacked them up 3-0, I think a lot of teams would go, hang on a second.
What's happening here? What is happening here?
And I also think if you're an Office fan, if you're a fan of The Office, I think you'd get a classic Amorim watching doing a David Brent. Oh, fucking hell.
and if we went and got 3-0 against Arsenal, Fulham would be going, oh no, I can't believe we've got to go Old Trafford.
I'll tell you this now: if we got a 3-0 against Arsenal, I'd be calling in sick on the Monday because I'd go out and get absolutely wankered. 1-0 says Jamie. AFC says the Arsenal 2-1. Cash says a goal difference of minimum 2. United all the way. Glory, glory, Man United. Still never got a fair chance, but I'll admit this league might not be for him. I'm having a fucking heart attack here. What is happening with Wahaha tonight?
He must be pissed. Waha's had a drink. I think he's had a drink or two. He's on the vodka. He's on that vodka. Bojida's on the vodka, I think.
2-1 says Dan. Still a good player. Can we see a lot? Yeah, we'll see plenty of yellows. And then Wahaha follows it up with an
8-2. Yes, we'll have some of that.
Anthony says, if we did, you know that everyone would say we must win the league. Fucking LR. Rio would be slapping the desk saying, "Let's let him."
Hey man, what he wants.
And you'd have Gary Neville do his bloody interview. Right, Michael. 2 questions. How much do you want on your contract, and when can you sign it? Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? I wish. Right. My heart says United. My head says Arsenal, but I hope I'm wrong. And I'm with you on that, Chappie. Look, I'm going to go 2-2. I think 2-2 is a respectable score. I think we absolutely can get away with picking up a draw in this game, because after that, the games that follow are winnable for Manchester United. So I would be absolutely... Look, at the end of the game, if we were 2-2, I'd sit there and go, do you know something? Job well done. Let's move on to the next one. Guys, it's Saturday tomorrow, so I won't be here tomorrow, but Sunday we will be back at around about 4 o'clock. Kev, I might treat you to a Sunday lunch on Sunday, mate. You cook for you, mate. Ben's gone with a ball draw. Don't do that, Ben. Arsenal have been mediocre in the past few games. Just close out Saka, and Arsenal is only left with dead balls. And Carrick, the new Sir Alex Ferguson, just can't see past that. A stitch in time provides us with a new genius. Still lose 4-2, though. Fucking love that. Guys, enjoy your Friday night, no matter what it is. You've had a fantastic week. You've all worked hard at work. It's been a slog. Go and enjoy your weekend. We will see you on Sunday. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new. Make sure you help. We've just broke 1,400, which is absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. And we will see you on the other side. Kev, where can we find you before we go?
Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, live stream, singing some songs.
You'll be able to sing better this week, mate. Bless you. On Saturday, I kept saying to Danielle, he's never going to do a stream on Saturday again with me.
No, the Piano Man didn't go well, but the rest was all right after that. I picked some very choice songs from my throat. But yes, I'm back. Live stream tomorrow, 8 o'clock, do some singing.
Fantastic. Guys, enjoy your weekend. We will see you on Sunday. Dan United, Kev United, Man United, Bryan Brigade, Carrick's at the wheel!